In this video, we're going to look at finding a fraction of a number. So we're going to do this by using some strips of paper and some small items such as counters, glass nuggets, or even Smarties. Before we start finding a fraction of a number though, it's really important to ensure that we've got a good understanding of the concepts of multiplication and division, because we're going to need to use multiplication and division facts from our times tables. We're going to start by finding 1/5 of 10. So I've got 10 counters, and we're going to find what a fifth of that quantity would be. And to do that, I've got a strip of paper, and I'm going to make fifths. So that means I need to split this strip of paper up into 5 equal pieces. So there we go. We've split the paper up into 5 equal pieces, or as equal as we can make them. We know they should be exactly equal. So now I can see if I want 1/5, I'm just going to mark this part. That would be 1/5. So what I'm going to do with my counters is just share them out equally on this strip. Okay, so there are my counters equally shared out. So what I was doing there, the calculation I was doing is I have got my 10 counters and I've just divided them by 5. I've split them into 5 equal groups, and we can see that if we look at 1/5, there are 2 counters in there because 10 divided by 5 equals 2. We would have 2 counters in each of those parts. So 1/5 of 10 would equal 2. So finding 1/5 is exactly the same as dividing by 5. That denominator is telling us to divide by 5. We can take this a step further though, because what if we don't just want 1/5? Let's say we want to find 3/5 of 10. So this time I'm going to just mark on where 3/5 would be, and I can see this would be 2/5, and then this would be 3/5. So now I need a second calculation. I've divided by 5 first of all to find out how many counters in each part, and I know that's 2. But now I don't just want 1/5, I need 3/5. So I know there are 2 in each part. I need to multiply that by 3. And so 3/5 of 10 would be 6. We can see that. There are my 3/5 of the whole one. And we can see there are 6 counters, 3 lots of 2. So once we've practiced using fraction strips and counters, what we can do next is instead use a bar model. So here I want to find 5/6 of 24. So I'm going to draw roughly my fraction strip, and I'm going to split it into 6 pieces because that's my denominator. And I know altogether, so this is the top bar, altogether I have got 24. And we can think of that like being 24 counters. So I can see that the first thing I'm going to need to do is take my 24 and split it up or divide it into 6 equal amounts. So using my times table knowledge, I can think how many 6s would there be in 24? And that would be 4. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. So I can fill in each of these parts. And I can just check that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4 would be equal 24. So I know that each 6 is worth 4. But now I know I need 5 6s. So I'm just going to get my highlighter, highlight 5 of those 6. And I can see that when I do that, I've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my numerator. 5 times, which would equal 20. So 5 sixths of 24 equal 20. To find a fraction of a number, we've got 2 calculations. First of all, our denominator, the number on the bottom of our fraction, is telling us what we need to divide our amount by. So 24 divided by 6. And then once we find out what one of those parts is equal to, so here it was 4, our numerator tells us how many of those parts we need. And here it was 5. So 4, 5 times would be 20. I hope that has helped you to understand how we can find a fraction of a number. So you can try it now with counters or other manipulatives, and then move on to a bar model, and then just finally the multiplication and division calculations that you need.